Hey everybody, today we're going to be talking about the 2021 Toyota 4Runner Venture Edition. We're going to see what makes this trim level specifically unique, but also how it's similar and different to the TRD Pro, and whether or not it's a good alternative if you don't want to pay the TRD Pro price. So, first things first. What makes it unique? What makes it special, different than all other trim levels? Well, pretty much how it looks. There's some very specific things. Number one, the blackout trim. All right, we start up here on the front. This is different from the TRD Pro, but it's similar to all the other all the other 4Runner packages. We have the white on the front. If you notice on a TRD Pro, this whole area is black. There's a black bar with the Toyota lettering on it. All the other trim levels have the Toyota badge, okay? But this is different in the Venture Edition. The badging is blacked out. Some of the other versions, they aren't. They're silver. Next, you have the front bumper cover. That's also blacked out, okay? Along the sides, you have blacked out mirrors. They're not color matched. You have blacked out door handles, not color matched. No TRD Pro, TRD Off-Road, no badging on this portion right here. It's completely blank. Come around the back. This area here, completely blacked out. Badge and the 4Runner, completely blacked out. And finally, the scoop up here, it's completely blacked out. In most other trims, this is color matched, these are color matched, and the badging is not color matched but chrome. Now, what makes it similar to a TRD Pro? Number one, you have the TRD rims, all right? Notice they say TRD. This is the same rim that's on the TRD Pro, but what's different? Instead of Needle Grappler tires, these are Bridgestone Dueler HT tires. The Needle Grappler are much more aggressive. They're an AT tire. This is an HT tire. It's more of a highway tire. I don't particularly like the highway tires on it, but this is what came on it. All right, so you got the TRD rims, but not the TRD tires. Number two, there's nothing to look at underneath here, but in the TRD Pro, you have the Fox suspension. You also have a lift on it of approximately 1 inch, okay? On this particular model, you have the regular 4Runner suspension, not the TRD suspension. Number two, come around here. On the TRD Pro itself, under here, there is a Toyota TRD skid plate. It's usually silver in color, and it says TRD very prominently on it. Here, no skid plate. Now, you can buy those aftermarket if you really wanted to have it, but that's a big difference between the TRD Pro and the Venture Edition. So, number one, the tire and rim combo. Number two, the skid plate. Number three, standard on the Venture Edition is the Yakima cargo basket. If you look at the difference between the TRD Pro and this package, this looks totally different. The TRD Pro has a more tubular rack, but this one has the Yakima rack. I think it looks okay. Now, inside, similar or exactly the same as the TRD Pro, and I hope you can see this. But if you look on here, you have the TRD stitching. It's got the black Softech seats, which are really fake leather. But you have the TRD stitching, which is the red stitching on the black Softech. All right. Inside, you also have options that are common, not common, but standard on the TRD Pro. Number one is the crawl control. Okay, this is basically a cruise control for very rough all-terrain. You just turn it on and you select your speed. Number two, you have traction control. You can go from mud to sand, all those standard on the a TRD Pro standard on a Venture Edition. Also, you have rear locking differential and you have A-track. Those are also standard on the TRD Pro. The difference here is you get a lot of the TRD Pro features, but not the TRD Pro price. There's about a $5,000 difference between a TRD Pro and the TRD Venture Edition, okay? So if you want to spend that extra $5,000, you can do it. Now there's also a consideration of availability. It's really hard to get a TRD Pro. Now, right now, August 2021, it's gonna be very hard to get a Venture Edition, because guess what? For the 2022 year models, that trim has been discontinued. So there's still some out there. I just picked this one up. There's still some out there, but you better jump on it now, or else you're gonna be paying a premium price on the used market. Right now, something like this comes at about $45,000 to $46,000, whereas the TRD Pro is about $51,000 to $52,000. But I think it's a good package if you don't want to pay for that TRD Pro mystique, really. There's a lot of good things on the TRD Pro that make it a very capable platform, but I think the Venture Edition is a good alternative, especially if you don't want to pay that extra $5,000 or $6,000. Now, same thing, the engine, still that 4-liter V6, still has the 5-speed transmission. Almost every way, it's the same. Different tires, different shocks, skid plate, different cargo, but I think it looks pretty good, and it's pretty capable, especially if you want to spend about $5,000 to get your own customized parts. You can put your own suspension, your own tires, and probably still be under that $5,000 mark. But that's it. TRD Pro versus versus the Venture Edition. In my mind, the Venture Edition is the one to go with. See you later. Check out more videos at Jump Outdoors. See ya.